need to share it on my page when you get live.
Yeah, we're finna go live
Okay.
right 10 seconds. No, we are live. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Friday Morning Live Show. The live show's podcast and meta content is brought to you every week by these loyal sponsors. McGraw-Webb Chevrolet on the bypass in Camden, Alabama, serving their customers for 30 years. Join the McGraw-Webb Chevy family today. Tucker ATV, Jackson, Alabama, your local servicing Polaris Hustler Echo dealer with an international reputation. CT Ward Power Sports in Camden, Alabama, XL Godfrey Hurricane Boats powered by Mercury and Yamaha engines, your water skiing gear headquarters on Lake Millers Ferry. Safford Trading Company and Safford Equipment under the tower in Safford, Alabama, home of your residential and commercial lawn care bundle bear. Wildlife Management Solutions in Utah, Alabama. Let the guys at WMS select the right seed and blends for your soil type. South Alabama Kubota and Reynolds on the Strip in Monroeville, Alabama. Kubota and Skag Zero Turns, the right Kubota tractor for the right price. Thanks for supporting the Gettin Outdoors sponsors and enjoy the show. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Gettin Outdoors Live Show. We are live from the Lawler Timber Company Grampian Hills Outdoor Media Center. 72 degrees, sunny with a northeast wind at 4 miles an hour. And it is my honor to have in the studio Miss Kay Donaldson. Hey, darling.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Boy, we have been hooked up so many times. This is the first time we've ever sat side by side on a live show. You are in Camden for the ABT 100. We're going to be talking all about that. I do want to put this up, though, for all of you that would like to have free tickets to the World Deer Expo in July. Just type in WDE40 in the comments, and I will pick a one probably tomorrow for a pair of tickets to the World Deer Expo. Let's go over what we got. A few things going on. Gilberttown has got a open bass tournament tomorrow in Demopolis at the Demopolis City Landing. $100 include lunker. Brother Howard Gaston's putting that tournament on. 251-232-1940 to get your boat number. And then down at Hubbard's Landing in the Delta down there, Dip McMillan is putting on a benefit tournament for Gilligan Memorial Crappie and Brim Tournament. That's going to be a great event. Dip puts on a great event down there. 251-747-9261. And then, of course, this weekend at Bridgeport City Landing, the ABT 100 will be blasting off in the morning. That's what we're going to be talking about with Miss Kay today. We will have live, and we're going to talk about that. It'll be from about 5:30 to 11 o'clock, won't it, Kay, the live tomorrow?
It will.
And it will be broadcast on the ABT 100 Facebook and YouTube, and we had Trey Wade in here Wednesday night. He said he didn't want one of those. What do you call trackers in his boat?
Trackers.
But he's gonna have one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can't come to Millers Ferry with Trey and Leon and the history they have here and not put a camera and tracker on their boat.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we got a guy, a CJ Knight is on the water as we speak. I hope he's got service. He's going to come on with us in a little while. But let's talk about why you're here. First of all, let's talk the difference in the Alabama Bass Trail 100 that's here today and the Alabama Bass Trail tournament series that was here in June of 2021.
You know, the Alabama Bass Trail 100, we announced it in 2020. 2021 was our first season. It's a limited boat field. You have 100 boats. The entry fee, of course, is a little bit more. It's $1,000 a tournament. So these guys have to sign up for all three. So it's a $3,000 entry fee. But we pay back $100,000 at the boat ramp. So you're going to $25,000 first place. A lot of these guys are in contention for contingency money. Somebody could literally walk out of here Saturday with almost $35,000 to $40,000 with all the contingency money for a one-day tournament on $1,000 entry fee. When you think about that and split that in half, so now you're a $500 entry fee for a potential $35,000 payday. So, and the other thing is there's pros that are involved in this, different from the regular Alabama Bass Trail Series. You can't have pros fish with you. A lot of those pros are fishing the Bassmaster Elite Series, fishing the MLF, so they're not here this weekend. But you can have that in the Alabama Bass Trail 100. So limited boat field, 100% payback, 100 boats. It's
$100,000.
$100,000, and that's hard for a lot of people to wrap their head about. And sometimes it's hard for me to wrap my head around when I think about the first year of the Alabama Bass Trail. I raised $167,000 in sponsorship, and to think that I give away the majority of that at one tournament is really fun. But you know, the Alabama Bass Trail is committed to 100% payback to our anglers, and we've been able to do that consistently for the first 10 years of our existence.
Well, I got a list of the anglers here and it's pretty impressive. Most of these anglers that I'm going to call out have fished tournaments. These are Millers Ferry anglers, and they're hammers like Trey and Leon Wade. They're ninth in the points right now with the Alabama Bass Trail 100. Jeremy Bass and Justin Coxwell are fishing it tomorrow. Michael Hall and Gabe Aldridge, they are hammers. Bo Spence and Tyler
Temple. Don't say
Temple.
That about Gabe. His head will get real big. So
Tyler Temple and Bo Spence, you're not familiar with them. They're from Meridian, Mississippi. Those guys are hammers. They'll be.
I've heard their name from a couple of people, so I'm beginning to believe it.
And then Nicholas Turner and Joe Lay. Joe Lay, I think he fished the ABT 100, the ABT when he was here in 14, 15, 16,
yes,
I believe. Did. And Gage and West King, they are hammers too from up there in Selma. Jeff Ritchie and Charlie Cummins. CJ Knight, who we're trying to hook up with right now, and Mitchell Jennings. Chad and Chase Schroeder. I saw them win their first $5,000 McNally Marine tournament in a John boat. Them boys are.
And they won Lake Martin on the Alabama Bass Trail and almost didn't even come to that event.
Yeah. Justin Mott and Randall Hamilton, now they are hammers too, and they won one too. Didn't they win Lake? They
won the largest tournament ever hosted by the Alabama Bass Trail, 239 boats, and those guys won it at Lake. Took home $15,000.
Look here, you got one of your top fans, Pam Swan. Good morning. Say hello to the Queen of Bass. You're darn right. She's the queen of Alabama Bass.
Pam was my first boss in the tourism industry. I appreciate everything she does. She still serves on our board at the Alabama Bass Trail.
All right, now Jordan Lee, he is in the ABT 100, but he's fishing in the Elite Series. So is Scott Canterbury out in Texas. So they won't be here.
Jordan's at Cayuga, so he's at some MLF event in Cayuga in New York, I believe. So.
Now, what about Brent Crow? Is he here?
Brent Crow is here.
I'll never forget watching Brent Crow because I had him on my podcast talking about Garmin products one time. And then right after that, he won the 2021 MLF championship. And I remember him holding up that $235,000 check. He's here.
Know, he is here. And do you know I had lunch with him the day after that and he didn't buy? I mean, what kind of guy is that?
Really?
That doesn't buy lunch after he just won? And you know, with his Phoenix boat contingency, he won over $245,000. And we had lunch the next day, and he got the little alligator arms. He couldn't reach the check.
Yeah.
I had to buy my own food that day. I was a little upset about that.
I don't blame you. Hey, let's see. CJ must not be in good. Let's see if we can get him on the phone
Okay.
and see what the water conditions. See if they raise the water up.
I was hearing 2 feet yesterday.
Huh?
I heard 2 feet. They pulled
Yeah.
2 feet of water off yesterday. He might be running too.
He might be.
What's up?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. I was going to run back about 200 yards down to get a little bit more service. I moved and I messed this up.
That's all right. That's all right. We got you on the phone. What's it look like out there this morning?
It's pretty today. It's real hot. It's I don't know, water temperature right now is about 77. I guess it's averaging about 80 degrees, you know, throughout the day.
Did they raise the water back up last night?
It looks like it's come up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still low, but I think it's up a little bit from yesterday evening.
Good. Well, we're talking to CJ Knight. He, of course, y'all heard him on my podcast talking about the squirrel hunt that he puts on every year, the Macy Night Squirrel Hunt. But CJ is here with the ABT 100, and his partner will be in tonight. You've been practicing, CJ. What does it look like? What do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
Well, I mean, I definitely think that it's all dependent on this water fluctuation. And I've only, I got here yesterday, so a lot of teams have been down here for well longer than I have. And they've, I talked to Joey Davidson and Tullis Lanier this morning, and they said that the water has been fluctuating all week. So I think that's going to play a big part in how tomorrow goes. But, these fish down here, I think that they're used to it for the most part, especially when you get into the summertime. But it just gets tougher,
Mm-hmm.
I believe it gets a little tougher when you got this low water conditions.
Well, and you said the water temperature really this time of year usually is in the mid 80s or high 80s. It's really uncommon for it to be this cool this time of the year.
Yeah, it is. We've had a real cool spring. For early summer, this is very abnormal. I mean, especially this far south too. I don't know, it must be global warming. I have no idea. It's crazy, but it's overall it has been a lot cooler, and I think things are a little bit behind for sure than normal.
Well, what do you think tomorrow? Me and Kay was just going over a list of some of the hammers that's going to be out there tomorrow. What you think is going to happen tomorrow? You've been practicing.
I mean, I believe these guys are going to catch them. They're the best in the business for sure.
No
some
doubt.
Some of them have been down here for quite a while too. But it wouldn't surprise me if someone with no practice at all won. To be honest with you, Big Daddy, because the it's just different every day. I mean, when I put in this morning, I noticed that the water on the main river was clear. Yesterday it was muddier.
Mm-hmm.
So it's changing, it just changes every day. And, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody just said, you know what, I ain't on crap. And, I'm about to go fish for these big fish, these big Millers Ferry bass, and just try something different. And, I mean, I think that could play. It's kind of abnormal for this time of year, but, the conditions are kind of odd.
Yeah.
Kind of odd.
What do you think, Kay? What do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
I think if we ever rolled into a town and things were just normal and things, I mean, in 9 years, I've never had that experience. So I don't really know what that's like. One thing I've learned about the Alabama Bass Pro anglers, they are the best at adapting and moving on. I heard the same thing. What CJ's saying right now is the water was clearing up later in the day. All the stain was being sucked out of it. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these guys go out who've been here a couple of days practicing in a more of a muddy river type atmosphere, which you and I talked about that yesterday. We were going over some of the bridges and you could see definite mud lines and things, and we couldn't figure out why because we had not had any rain. But we saw that water clearing up, saw the water go down about 2 feet. Everybody I talked to said the morning was awesome, that they were having a great time in the morning. It got a lot tougher in the afternoon. I still think you're going to be somewhere between that 18 and 20 pound range to win. To get a check in 20th place, I I was originally thinking 14 pounds. I think maybe somewhere around 12 and a half to 13, maybe if the water stays down. I still think they're going to catch them. I still think we're going to see a lot of limits. But the ABT 100 is not a tournament that you're worried about points. I think most guys, because there's no championship, they're coming out here to win. So
win that 25 grand.
Right. And so I don't think you're going to see people just fishing for limits. I think you're going to try to see them go out there and find those 3 5+ fish. They're going to try to go out there and find those 5+ fish and then fill out their limit with something else. So I do think that that's kind of going to be the game plan for a lot of people. But I think 18 to 20 pounds to win it, certainly, 12 and a half to even 14 to get a check, which is still really good bags.
How did you do yesterday, CJ?
I had a decent day yesterday. Like she was saying, I definitely think that the fish were maybe active, in the morning. It did get a little bit tougher as the day went on. As she said, I got on a little deal midday yesterday that I'm going to try to expand on today. But like Kay was saying, we have nothing to lose in this. It's a lot of money on the table, and not to fish for first in a 100 boat tournament like this is just, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do what we think is the best for catching better than average fish. And I'm here to tell you, Millers Ferry has got them. This place is my favorite. I mean, I've said it before, and I'll stand by. It's my favorite place in the whole state to fish. I mean, every time I've come down here, I have had tremendous success with numbers, and there's good quality here too. It's not a Gunners or a Pickwick, of course, but it's an Alabama River. But it's very fertile, and it's it fishes great. It really does.
Big Daddy, I want to say something about CJ.
Yeah.
I watched CJ come through college. He fished with me when he was in college.
He fished with Auburn University.
Yes, and he fished the Alabama Bass Trail. And when I think about a kid being able to walk away, and a kid because he's my kid's age, okay, so I can say that. When I think of him, newly married, young baby, and be able to walk out of here with a $35,000 paycheck,
because he is in a Phoenix
at 32, boat. So he would be at 32 plus all of the other contingency, the Black Rifle Coffee, and all that. That gets me excited to think about a young man who's out here doing something he loves.
Slept in his truck last night.
To come down here and take away $32,000. I mean, that's life-changing money.
Yeah.
At 50, me being 50, I can't imagine at that age. And so that gets me excited when I think about the fact that our guys can pay a higher entry fee. $1,000 is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
But to be able to come back and then take home a paycheck like that is really, really exciting. And I appreciate CJ so much because I know he had to step away for a couple years, finishing school, growing into the dad and the husband and all that. And then to come back and not only fish the South Division, but step up and fish the ABT 100. That's what I love so much about that.
And I was telling him last night, I had supper with him last night, and CJ is one of these guys that you said the same about Laura. I want to see where CJ is in 10 years.
Right.
And that's like you told me about Laura E.G. You want to see where she is in 10 years. CJ is very hungry for the outdoors. He wants to make his career in outdoors, whether it's a professional fisherman or broadcaster. He's fixing to start his own radio show. I should have said that. CJ, but
that's not for certain. But
yeah, it is. Hey, yeah, it is too. Yeah, it is too.
Well, I know whatever he decides to do, he'll be successful at it because he has a heart for the industry and just a really neat young man that a very good ambassador for us for sure.
And Trey Wade's on here too. I have got to pull for Trey and Leon because they local, but I'm sure hoping you come in there too, CJ. It was sure wouldn't hurt my feelings if you won that money either.
Well, I tell you, Trey and them, they're good here, and I wouldn't bet against them for sure. But
well, I don't know.
Right.
You should have heard it. You probably could hear him screaming last night when they pulled all that water out of him, and his daddy was hollering loud.
Yeah,
they got to do some adjustment today.
Yeah, I think the adjustments is going to be key as forward. So it's
well, CJ, good luck, man. I don't want to keep you from fishing. I know you're practicing. I know your partner will be in here this evening. And good luck tomorrow. I'll see you in the morning, and hopefully I'll see you at the weigh-in tomorrow afternoon too. Anything you want to say, Kay?
I just want to say thanks for being such a great ambassador for us, CJ. Be safe out there, and we'll see you in the morning at Boat Chat.
I appreciate it. Appreciate everything y'all do for the, for the state and for us fishermen. So we will check in with y'all in the morning for sure.
All right, CJ. Thank you, my friend.
See ya.
Bye-bye. And that's what it's all about right there. Young anglers like him and Trey and I mean, every one of them, all their families, everything. I don't know how you keep up with all of them like you do. But
I try hard. Social media helps us, but it's really cool. That's one of the things I love about the Alabama Bass Trail is to watch people. We've seen kids from high school go on to college and fish, and then get married and start their families and still come back to the Alabama Bass Trail. And that's just a really cool thing about what we get to do here.
Kay, and you said something yesterday. We had lunch in Pecan yesterday with Egg and Alicia McGraw, and that whole staff just welcomed us like we were royalty down there. And anyway, you told Egg something yesterday that caught. You said your job is to come to a place like Camden and make Camden money. Mm-hmm. Talk about that a minute.
I've always said that our job is to come into towns and make cash registers ring. Mm-hmm. If we just come in here and create traffic, we really haven't done anything for you. So the goal here is to create local dollars.
And I might add, QV was out of gas yesterday morning.
And that's the thing. I mean, the Alabama Bass Trail 100% was created to go into small communities and create an economic boom. Mm-hmm. And in some areas, it's smaller than others. And the 100 will certainly be smaller than the 225 boat tournament. But that is what we're geared to do. That is what tourism people in general, Pam Swanner knows this better than anyone, is we are motivated to come into an area and go to the Pecan and have that wonderful carrot cake and that chicken salad and buy that T-shirt. Or
and that pineapple casserole, whatever that was.
Right. And take home a T-shirt and take home a pack of those pecans and pick up a little something that reminds you of Camden and Millers
Mm-hmm.
Ferry, Wilcox County. Or go over to that little boutique that had that cute white dress sitting outside of it. I didn't buy it yesterday, but I did stop and look at it in the afternoon. But it is about, I sent a text to two guys today that were sat at the bar last night at Rack and Reels, and I thank them for getting out and coming and supporting small business. Mm-hmm. And are you going to Jackson's Fried Chicken today? Are you going to Hunter's Run tonight? Are you going by Larry's Drive-In? Make time to go and do those things while you're here in Camden, because I don't think you can experience the culture and the hospitality if you don't do that. Do not sit in your cabin and not get out and explore. Go to the little museum that we went at yesterday and see the Stokes Gator. I showed pictures of that to the guys I had dinner with last night. Until you go and see that massive 15-foot, 1,011-pound gator, you can't imagine. And the fact that came out of here at Millers Ferry, mm-hmm. There's so many good stories to tell. We went down and saw the ferry that goes to G's Bend. Mm-hmm. I've been there before, but it just seems like it's a new experience every time you go. I do hate Miss Kitty's is no longer here, because mm-hmm. that was one of my favorite places to go. But so much, and the hospitality, just like you said, walking into the Pecan yesterday and having lunch there, and Edgar sitting down and talking to us, and his wife coming over and spending time with us. You just don't get that everywhere you go. And I've said this before, coming to Camden, we are like the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If we went to Birmingham, nobody even know we were there, mm-hmm. But coming to Camden, go into areas like Lake Jordan and Wetumpka, and go into Lincoln Landing in Lincoln. They know you're there. They notice the number of boats that's there. And the ladies at Hardy's this morning.
Yeah.
They knew that the tournament was in mm-hmm. town, and they recognized it. So it is absolutely just, one of my favorite. I've told you this before. I always feel like the daughter that went off to college and came home, even though mm-hmm. I'm 50. I always feel like I'm coming back home when I come to Camden. I have a soft place in my heart for here. We've worked really hard to get, Bridgeport Landing, a bunch of people. I probably couldn't, name them all on my hands and my toes that worked on that project. And to be called up to the bar last night and for Mr. Parker to thank me for mm-hmm. what I did. And I just feel so silly taking that thanks, because so many people's hard work went into that. But I'm tickled that our guys can come here and be appreciated the way they are, and give back to the community the way that we can.
Well, Kay, it's been such a journey for you, and I'm so thankful that I was on that journey from the get-go. And And I don't think I don't think anybody can appreciate it like me and you do, because we know what happened, how hard it was, you know. And but to be you are now from where you came from has been a tremendous. I mean, and it's all because of your leadership. I'll say that till the day I die. You know, this Alabama Bass Trail 100, Alabama Bass Trail Tournament Series would never be where it is. It's the envy of every state in the nation, and I'm sure you get calls from other states, but it's strictly because of your leadership and the way that your staff. And I wish everybody would come tomorrow. And I'm gonna put up a time lapse camera on the ramp in the morning, with just so they can see how your guys put 100 boats in the water in less than 20 minutes. It's unbelievable.
Well, you've got Daniel Montgomery commented there just a minute ago. The city of Camden's out here at the boat ramp working hard, mowing and cleaning bathrooms. You know, I remember in 2016 we had a big rainstorm that came through, and I asked you if I could find 2 or 3 pieces of plywood to put down so the guys wouldn't have to walk in mud. Within 15 minutes, it's on the ground. The guys were out there yesterday putting in the 50 amp service. The pad is there for us to be able to put the truck or the big trailer out there. The grass was mowed yesterday. They're actually back out there today, getting it ready, because this is y'all Super Bowl, and we want the best anglers in the South, best anglers in the country to come out here and not only experience the great fishing, but experience a great experience in Camden. So, you know, there's things we can't control, road closures we can't control, road construction we can't control, but as long as we control the things that are within us, and that's our team, they can greet you with a smile. They're going to get you in and out of the water in a timely fashion. They're going to make sure that, you know, everything you need to do. If you don't feel comfortable backing down that boat ramp, we're going to get you in the water, and that's everywhere we go. Our job is to make that part of your experience the best it can be. The best thing about the Alabama Bass Trail is the guys and the ladies that we have working for us. They don't just see it as a fishing tournament. They see it as a customer service experience. And you can go fish a tournament any day of the week, anywhere you want to in the state of Alabama. But it is the customer service aspect of how our team responds to our anglers that I'm the most proud of.
It is a production. It is going to be a production starting at 2 a.m. in the morning. Now, let's go through it tomorrow.
Okay.
What's going to happen tomorrow? Let's go through it. And I don't care if you don't even know anything about bass fishing, you need to ride down there and just see the setup tomorrow at Bridgeport City Landing, because you've never seen anything like Kay's gonna put on tomorrow. Talk about starting in the morning at 2 a.m.
Our guys will probably get to the boat ramp sometime around 2:30. They'll get everything set up. We'll have boat check on the water. We'll have boat check on land. We'll have 3 guys that'll be doing boat check on land. We'll have 1 guy at the water. We'll have 2 or 3 guys at the boat ramp that are going to be getting you in the water, making sure that you're backing down the right ramp.
Putting cameras
on boats, make sure that your trackers, we have 30 trackers that'll be going
Make
out.
sure you put a tracker on Trey and Way, because Bradley is your camera boat driver, and y'all gonna find him tomorrow.
Well, you know, I've even said we probably need to chase Trey and Leon. We
Yeah.
probably need to put Kenneth and Kenny on Trey and Leon, and let's follow them on out so we can get on them first thing. It's kind of what my thoughts are. But, you know, we're putting trackers, we're putting, you know, cameras and all of that on as we're doing boat check. Our guys are getting you parked the way we need you parked. They're going to get you in and out of there as quickly as possible. Our live guys are already going to be on the water. They're going to chase 2 boats. I'll be in the studio with the engineer, making sure that we are, you know, getting everything ready for live. We'll have the countdown going at 5:15. We'll have the national anthem at 5:28. Boat number 1 will be called at 5:30, straight up and down. So you'll have all of that. We'll be live for up until 11 o'clock on Saturday. We'll be showing you all the action as it comes through at Millers Ferry.
All right, we'll have 2 different production companies there. One will be the anglerschannel.com. They'll be filming for the TV show that will be aired later.
Yes.
And then you have your live crew that will be doing live on the water from 5:30 or 6 o'clock to 11 o'clock, following Trey and Leon and talking to them and watching them fish. And then, of course, tomorrow evening, the weigh-in. So Tommy D, all y'all, Grandma Karen, all y'all in California, Michigan, wherever you're listening from, B-Dog, upstate New York, y'all can watch this tomorrow on the ABT Facebook page or YouTube channel. And of course, I'll share it on my Facebook page too.
Right. And, that's been the coolest thing is bringing live coverage to amateur bass fishing.
Mhm.
You see Bassmasters and MLF do it for the pros, but to be able to bring live coverage to amateur bass fishing, a lot of those guys weren't used to talking to the camera at first. Now they're getting very, very familiar with it. And they actually, they're going to tell you what they're throwing. They're going to tell you what they're targeting. They're going to tell you if they're seeing them on live scope. They're going to talk to you about all of that. So that's a really cool thing about bringing live on the water coverage to amateur bass fishing, which I will say is a full-time job. And I sometimes wonder why I started that, but
Well,
it is a lot of fun.
You do a good job at it, Kay. And I tell you what, I know you got the, we're going a little over, but that's okay. I do want to remind y'all one more time. Y'all don't go nowhere. We'll be right back right after a word from these loyal sponsors. River Legend Outfitters, Citronelle, Alabama, your one stop for all things hunting, fishing, and outdoors. Home of the frogging tournaments. Coast to coast true value in downtown Camden, a shopping experience you will never forget. Lofton's Bait Shop on the bypass, your first stop if you're hunting or fishing in Camden, Alabama. Open Monday through Saturday, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m., closed on Sunday for God and family. Bubba and Joe Allen Dunn at Dunn Sports in Thomasville, Alabama, across from McDonald's. Outfitters for the serious sportsman. Community Neighbor Bank with locations in Greenville, Camden, Pine Hill, and Grove Hill, serving rural Alabama since 1906, bringing you the Gettin Outdoors weather since 2007. The 40th Annual World Deer Expo at the BJCC in Birmingham, Alabama, July the 21st through the 23rd. Buy your discount tickets now at worlddeerexpo.com and be entered for the African Safari giveaway. Plaza Golf Cart Sales in Demopolis and Tuscaloosa, your Easy Go Superstore. Town Country United Bank, Camden, Alabama, proud sponsors of the Town Country United Bank Hunting and Fishing Report every week on the Gettin Outdoors podcast. Lawler Timber Company, Camden, Alabama, family-owned independent business offering professional forestry services and home of the Grampian Hills Outdoor Media Center. Class Storage on the bypass in Camden, Alabama. Safe, secure storage for that motorhome, boat, or camper. ClassStorageLLC.com. Thanks for supporting the Gettin Outdoors sponsors. Now let's get back to the live show. Remember, y'all, if you want a pair of tickets to go see the 40th Annual World Deer Expo and all those folks, Hannah Barron, Bubba Buck, Turtle Man, the Turkey Man himself, the Water Skiing Squirrel, type in the comments WDE40, and I'm going to pick a winner and give away a pair of tickets after the show today. All right, look what Kay. Now, what are that's what the anglers are going to win tomorrow.
Angler of the Year. This is for Angler of the Year.
Yeah, okay. Angler of the Year, and the points, and it's just 3 tournaments, right?
Yes.
It's just 3 tournaments. Hold that thing, and let me see that.
You hold it, Big Daddy.
Good Lord, is that real gold?
Yeah.
Golly.
Isn't that pretty?
That is beautiful. That's one of them wrestling belts.
It
right
is.
There.
It is.
Mm-hmm. That thing, ain't no telling. What's that thing called? But Lord have mercy, we're going to have a good time tomorrow. And Rusty said he had to go back to work. No, he's still on there. He's going to get fired. But Rusty will be there early in the morning. He is dead gum sure one of the
hardest working people I have ever met. If I had 12 Rusties, I could have a tournament every weekend.
I'll never forget when in 21 when he what did you say, he had that music booming at
2 o'clock in the morning, the music was blaring and he was ready to go. He has more energy than anybody I know. I said, if I have 12 Rusties, I could take the world on.
Well, he'll be there tomorrow, and CT Ward is going to have some side-by-sides down there, and Rusty's going to be in one of those that look like a Hummer, and he'll be trolling the guys from the boat ramp to the parking lot. It won't be like the 225 boat deal, but I urge everybody to come out there and see. We're going to do the weather. Let's do the weather right quick. All these anglers will know we do the Grand Marquis and Getting Outdoors weekend community neighbor bank weather report. Today, a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms after 4 o'clock. Sunny with a high near 87. Light northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tonight, a 20% chance of showers before 9 o'clock, mostly clear with a low 64. North winds 5 miles an hour. And then Saturday for the ABT 100, sunny with a high near 90 degrees, light northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour in the morning. Perfect day, Kay, to be out there fishing. Saturday night, clear with a low around 63, northeast winds 5 miles per hour. Then Sunday, sunny with a high near 92, east winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Then Sunday night, partly cloudy, 64 degrees, east winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. And out in California, it is going to be sunny, 64 degrees. Pollen level is high, wind 5 miles an hour, humidity 55%, feels like 64, visibility 8.7. Darn, you getting technical there, Grandma Karen. But that is the California. We always compare her California weather and our South Alabama weather on Friday morning. A couple of things, Kay. I want to go over. This is an event coming up tomorrow in Selma. They asked me to help promote it. It is the Rockin' Rib Off there in Selma tomorrow. It's benefiting the Selma recovery, the tornado recovery. It's going to be live music all day on 2 stages. And I guess they'll be having a rib cook-off. Tickets are available at everbright.com or at the gate. It is presented by Black Belt Benefit Group. Looks like a fun time in Selma if you're in that area tomorrow. And also, the black bears are roaming. This is one that is not a half a mile from where we're sitting right now that came across the camera the other night. And to give you just a comparison, this is the same camera. To give you a comparison of the size of it. See, that's the same bush right there. That's the bear, and that's a deer. So you look how high his back is. So that was a pretty big old bear that roamed through the Grampian Hills the other night. I'm not going to get into the gator regulations. We got some new alligator regulations. We got plenty of time to go over that. We got a good crowd on here this morning. We got Kay Donaldson in the house. Oh, I tell you what I do want. I got a call the other night from Jason Marcel Ledbetter. Well, he sent me a text and he said, "Are you up?" It was 10 o'clock and I wasn't up, but I lied and said I was. And he called me and he said, "You ain't going to believe what I just saw over my house." He said it was a meteor or something. It might have been an airplane. He said it came over his house and it made a huge boom. And it was the SpaceX.
Right.
And he got this awesome video. Now, this is from Camden, Alabama, Moore States. Look at that.
I wish they'd get a lot more satellites in the sky so we could use our Starlink we bought last year. It is less than ideal right now.
Really?
Edgar
said he got it out there and he loved it.
Yeah.
But that was the SpaceX. That was a video by Jason Ledbetter. I think it was night before last. And that was pretty darn cool.
That's cool.
And
BJ, I do want to say one thing to your listeners. People who may not understand bass fishing. You know, you and I had a long talk with Edgar yesterday about just the whole operation of tourism and what it's meant to do in states. I sent you some numbers yesterday from 1920 and 21. And just for your listeners, I want you to understand that lodgings tax, and that's how we judge how we are doing in tourism. Lodging tax in Wilcox County was up 33% from 2020. So it is growing at a rapid rate. And I think with good leadership and all of those things, you can see those numbers continue to grow, which is going to, CT Power Sports is going to see a benefit of that. Rack and Reels, QV, all of the places, the Pecan, all of those places are going to see the benefit. As that number rises, it's just like the water. When one water rises, all the boats float. So I'm excited for you guys to see the growth there in the lodging tax collections. We'll see the 2022 numbers on Wednesday when the state releases those, and I expect that you'll see an even bigger increase for 2022 over 2021. And I just got a text from one of the wives. They went to the pecan yesterday. I sent her a message today and said they're going to have catfish today.
That's
so
right.
you need to head on over there. But they went yesterday, so I was glad to see that as well.
And what Kay is talking about, y'all, and a lot of people don't know this, and Kay would never admit this, but I will. Back in, I think it was 2016 or 17, you and David Colston, at that time, he was our state legislature. You and him actually wrote the Wilcox County lodging tax proposal.
Mm-hmm.
And the county commission approved it, and it was approved unanimously by the legislature.
Mm-hmm.
And it went into effect, I think, in 16 or 17.
I think it was in 16. I think we wrote it in 15. It went into effect in 16.
And what that is, everybody that stays at a hotel room, a campground, anywhere in Wilcox County pays a $4 a night lodging tax. $2 of it goes to the Chamber of Commerce, earmarked for promoting outdoor recreation.
Yes.
And then $2 of it goes to the county, earmarked for outdoor recreation. I think they use it for football uniforms and stuff like that. But that's just one thing Kay Donaldson has done for Wilcox County, not to mention her help in putting Bridgeport City Landing together and the T-Pier, and you were instrumental in remodeling the ramp at Roland Cooper State Park. We told that story on your podcast this week, but
it's hard to. This community just seems like family, and anytime you do the right thing, you haven't done it wrong. You know, you haven't done wrong, and it's not that this is something that needs to, I remember Lee Centel, our state tourism director, who, by the way, to me has been the best state tourism director
absolutely
in the United States. I don't just say in Alabama, the best we've ever had, but to recognize the value of outdoor recreation and to put an emphasis on it through his marketing dollars and through his support in the legislature has been astronomical. But when you get a chance, when he tells you that outdoor recreation and fishing in general will be the precipice of us coming back from COVID.
Yep.
He knew that. He knew that outdoor recreation was going to be the driving force of getting our tourism industry back. And they did. People traveled and fished. They got outdoors. They kayaked. They canoed. They got in bass boats. I mean, forever you couldn't even find a kayak or a canoe to buy.
And 2023 is the year of birding. Birding is getting huge. And I tell you, we have the most diversified birds. Not only, it's the whole black belt, the underserved black belt, Lowndes, Dallas, Wilcox, Marengo, Monroe, Clark counties, that the outdoors is their biggest industry. They'll never admit it. The economic developers will never admit it, but it is their biggest industry.
Well, you don't sell tickets to it.
Yeah.
So you can't go to, it's not like the Space and Rocket Center where you buy a ticket and go through that turnstile and they can count you. It's people get out and go and enjoy the outdoors, and you don't have to buy a ticket, and they're hard to trace. So it's hard to track those and make it understandable, but you guys have done a great job here. I know that y'all are going to continue to do great, whether the Alabama Bass Trail's here or not, but you've seen other tournaments locate here and come here. And I think that's great. And we see that when we go other places, but to see that people are coming here, spending their time. I want to just express, we're keeping our staff as over at Lakeside RV and Camp Cabins. And I couldn't book their Wednesday night because it was already full. I couldn't book their Sunday and overstay till Sunday because it's already full. That is a testament to what everyone is finding out about Camden and Millers Ferry. And I hope that they keep on coming.
That's right. And we need to mention Mr. Jimmy Brock. He always offers his camp house for your guys to stay in. And Miss Mary Ann is going to have some surgery Monday, and he's kind of staying away from people. But Mr. Jimmy is a huge player in this. And he has been since I was here in 2012 when I first came back. When I first came to Camden, he's been there and continues to do that. And it's so nice that stayed up late last night to escort Daniel into his house and make sure that he was safe and there and comfortable and all of that. It's just another testament to the hospitality that you get when you come to Camden. And I'm so thankful for it. And it's just so far reaching. I wish everyone could experience it. Well, I appreciate you coming today, and I know you got a lot to do. I'm going to let you go. before you go to what's today? What happens today when you leave here? What's going to happen?
Well, my live studio is already set up at Bridgeport. Daniel got there bright and early. Me and him were like behind each other at the Hardee's this morning. He's already gone to set the camper up. The big trailers will be here about 9:30. They'll get all of those set. They'll start testing all of the trackers. We'll get those, make sure that those are charged, and I can see those on the tracking system. They'll get the big trailer set up. They'll get it leveled. They'll get all of the key fobs out and start sorting them, making sure we have everything on the ground today. If we have to, luckily we now have the 50 amp service, but they would have then primed the generator and got it ready to go. Daniel and John will walk the facility. They'll know every inch of that ground before they get started at 2:00 in the morning. So they will know every in and out of where they need people standing for traffic. They'll have people, they'll make sure that they've got all the good vests out so that they're visible. They'll have everything ready for their guys. They'll charge all of the radios because we all work off radio control devices to be able to know. They'll have the megaphone for Frank. They'll have everything ready, all the batteries changed, everything charged, and that's what today's about. They'll break for lunch, and then they'll be back out there several times tonight, just making sure that that we don't have any cars parked in places that don't need to be. And then we'll get started bright and early on Saturday morning. For me, I'm setting up Facebook Live. I'm testing cameras. I'm setting up lights. I'm getting the camper ready. I'm setting up the Black Rifle coffee place there in the morning. So I'll have a lot of stuff to do out at the boat ramp. I'll be there the majority of the day today for people that just want to stop by and talk. That's what I'm here for.
And the public it is something to see. If you, like I said, if you don't even care nothing about bass fishing, you need to ride to Bridgeport City Landing and see this production. And that's what it is. It's a production.
You do. And then, they'll spend a good bit of time just working on fish care. We'll have our fish care tanks and stuff here. They'll spend a lot of time getting that stuff ready, make sure we have oxygen, make sure we have ice and all the things. So there's a lot that goes into it. Yes, the public's welcome. If I have time, I'm happy to walk you around, talk to you about our setup and why we do a full live waterway in, so that it's better for the fish. I mean, we take a lot of time in conservation because we want your children, your grandchildren, and your grandchildren's children to be able to come and fish Millers Ferry for years to come. And by far, fish care, conservation is at the top of our list of things that we do and things that we spend our money on.
Kay Donaldson, Program Director for the Alabama Bass Trail 100. Thank you so much for being here today. It's been a great experience for me, Kay.
Well, thank you.
Everybody practice safety this weekend. If you're on the water, camping, planting food plots, whatever you're doing, Big Daddy don't want to report any hunting, fishing, or outdoor accidents. Everybody have a great weekend. Please ride down to Bridgeport City Landing today or tomorrow and see this production. Remember, now more than ever, God bless America. And remember what old Big Daddy and Kay say, get outdoors.
Pap taught me every critter's track and how to set a hair trigger on a trap. He taught me to shoot, scale, and skin and make a snare with a leather strap. He taught me to be a part of the woods and all his woodsy tricks. Said you gotta walk soft on 2 light feet and try not to break no stick. I thank Daddy for my stabby, how to hunt and how to carry anything that I might need to get a piece of skillet meat. How to walk and how to hide, how to crawl and how to slide, how to sneak, stalk, and climb and do it all.